sisters know that they are strong, and may all daughters know that they are worthy, that the circle of women may live on, that the circle of
Hello,
women may
hello.
live on.
Welcome, welcome,
May
welcome.
all mothers know that they are loved, and may all
Night three.
sisters know that they are
Night
strong.
three. Hello to everyone live and
And
everyone
may
watching the
all
recording.
daughters know that they are
If you've been here with
worthy,
us, we'll kind of do the same
that
thing. So
the
you're going to have a minute or
fire of
two,
the
probably 2 to 3
goddess
minutes,
may
if I'm being
burn
honest, to
on,
let people join
that
us.
the fire
Make sure you
of
have a
the
journal and
goddess may
pen.
burn on.
Create your sacred nest and hop in that chat box and let us know where you are in the world so we can anchor into that grid.
May all mothers know that they are loved, and may all sisters know that they are strong, and may all daughters know that they are beautiful.
I'm just going to take you all in while we're waiting too.
That the circle of women may live on.
South Carolina, South Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Jersey. Drive safely, Stacy. West Virginia. More are joining. Beautiful.
That the fire of the goddess may burn on. That the fire
Virginia, yeah. Finishing your dinner in Floyd. Hello, enjoy your dinner, sister.
And if this is anyone's first time joining us, let us know, so we know that you're newbie. And hi.
Just take in the words of this song as we wait about 1 more minute, because tonight we're going to be leaning into sisterhood. That's the medicine we're going to be speaking to. And this is one of my favorite songs about women's circles and sisterhood. Dawn, yes, certainly. Leave when you need to, and just beaming your cat with so much love, sister, for sure. All the replays will be sent out tomorrow. All right. Come back to the main screen. Okay. Welcome. Welcome to night 3 of Temple Sisters. Thank you for those that are joining live, and thank you if you're watching the replay. It's an honor to be with you here again to continue this journey into sisterhood and deeper into ourselves. I want to just touch on a few techie things, especially if we have anyone new with us. So if you sign off by accident, sign back on, I'll be watching that and I'll let you back in. There's a chat box you can use. If you have any technical questions that come up, we are recording. So just want to make sure everyone knows that. And with the recordings, I will be sending out an email. It's going to come from hersacredcircle@gmail.com. And it's going to have all 3 recordings from the past, from tonight and then the past 2 nights. How do you raise your hand? Ashira, it's funny because I haven't seen the option. Here we go. Reactions. Okay, so down at the bottom on my computer, it says reactions, and then it shows raise hands. I don't know if you see that, but because it used to show over on the side, but something must have updated because now it's like a little bit different from what I normally see. But that's a great question. So any questions like that, pop those in the chat, and I'm happy to help in written form or speaking to you. And then I just want to touch again on the pillars of integrity. So the pillars of integrity of the space are confidentiality, active listening, and conscious speaking. And so anything spoken into this space, we're going to do some sharing tonight in the chat box, in some small groups, and in the open space. So anything shared here remains here. As you're listening to a sister share, if you can stay muted, ways to show support, you can beam your hands, you can snap, you can, offer a love reaction. If you go to that reactions tab, I think it pops up a heart or something. So there's ways to show without, interjecting. And then conscious speaking. So really just speaking from your heart. This is about the medicine of sisterhood and sister circle tonight. And a big piece of that is speaking your truth and sharing from a place of vulnerability, right? Because we've spoken to that the past 2 nights. There's a lot of strength in that. A sacred responsibility. So again, since you're all in your own spaces, just really knowing yourself, leaning in as far as you feel safe to do so in this space. This is not a substitution for therapy, but a beautiful complement to it. So we are here to hold you, but ultimately taking that sacred responsibility to hold yourself. And then taking what you like and leave what you don't, just knowing that some of this may deeply hit your heart. And if anything misses the mark, just trusting that that exact medicine or modality may have been meant for someone else. So just moving through this with an open heart. Raise your hand if you agree to those pillars. We will open the space. Yes, beautiful. Okay. One more thing I would like to do that we've done the past few nights is just looking into the space. So if you can switch to gallery view for a second and just look around the room at all of the beautiful sisters that heard the same call somewhere deep within them to be here tonight, knowing that there are so many other sisters that are watching the recordings who also felt that call. And so taking in these words that I never get tired of saying, because of all of the places in the entire universe and all of the billions of people on this planet and all of the millions of things any one of us could be doing right now. We are here in this space, co-creating this sister circle together. So we welcome you and we honor you. And let's get to it, right? My name is Leah Pegram. I am the owner and founder of Her Sacred Circle. I'm a circle and retreats facilitator, ceremonialist, and sacred feminine embodiment guide. And I live for connection. I live for community. And I'm honored to be sharing this space here with you tonight. And Katie, I'll toss it to you, my love.
Good evening, ladies. So good to see you all. Well, we've been on quite a journey these last couple nights. We have covered the fiery solar plexus of self-worth with the help of Sekhmet and risen into the heart center to hold our shame with self-compassion with the help of Kuan Yin. And if you are joining us on the recordings, I do hope that you go and you visit the first and second class so that you can go deep into the shame and self-compassion work for a fuller self-worth. So yes, my name's Katie, and you all are I think all the women who are alive right now have been with us in this process, and a lot of you know me, so I feel funny just saying my credits again. So those who are joining us on the recording, watch the first and second night. Let's see, we are going to go just right into a practice. Yeah, little break from all the talking and information. If you're driving, like looks like Stacy on her way to New Jersey, don't do this. Just take what you can from it and adapt it to your drive, your car seat. So yeah, I'm gonna turn on a little music here. We'll start in the chair, and then we'll move up to standing. Okay. Ready? Ah, that's what I want you to do. And I hope that's what you want you to do, because it feels good. We can hold so much tension in the jaw and the chest and the belly. Just let it go. Yes, yes, yes. Bring our awareness into our hearts. Dropping down into your heart. Notice what's happening there, what sensations are happening in the very center of your chest. Begin to breathe into your heart center like we did last night. And we'll bring this into motion. If you want to look, we open, we exhale, and we press in with love. Inhale and exhale. Do a few more of those. It's up to you if you want to go through the mouth or nose, whatever serves you best. Reach our arms now way wide. Stretch out the fingers. Stretch out. Let the crowns of your fingers reach and open out to each finger connect with a star. Yeah. And we'll come hands together, interlace the fingers, and press the heart away from the palm, the opposite direction. Reach out to the back of your heart space. Good. We'll try that a few times. Open. Reach out the crowns of our fingertips. Draw in the love from the universe. Interlace the fingers and exhale out the back of the heart. Listening into your heart and chest right now, finding ways that this can become more open. Use your breath as a tool. I'll throw out some suggested movement, and you can take it or leave it. But whatever it is, make it into a gentle dance. It's not functional, just purely perfunctory. Finding some twist, gentle twist. Whatever that means to you. Gentle bends from side to side. Dropping your presence more and more into your body. feeling every sensation that you can. Now we'll have a forward and back motion. Take this small, or you can fold all the way to the floor. The heart and the hands are very connected. It makes sense, right? It's the energy. The arms are attached here, the shoulders. Because we've been working with the heart chakra and also the love of our own selves through our palms, we're gonna do the heart and palm dance, heart and hand dance. As if the heart was speaking through your palms. Now find our way up to standing, and we'll only be there for a moment. But I feel like we need to just shake off some of the day. Okay. Some of you may have done a shaking practice before, but this is in a lot of different cultures to kind of shake out the tension and open space for more relaxation and calm. So little bounces, and I think the beat goes perfectly with this, right? Ba, 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 ha, ha. Now, if you want the shakes to get more gentle, if it's starting to be too much for you, that's fine. If you want to make the shakes more expressive, that's fine. We're going to do this for 1 more minute. And connect to the earth while you do this. Grounding inside your body. Last 30 seconds, really scan what parts of the body need the tension release. Shake it down the body and shake it into the ground. Back to the earth. Slowly start to wind down, slowly to come into standing. Good, stand there. Feel if anything's shifted. Yeah. Need to do any wipes. Sometimes that's helpful, just that last bit of residue you don't need. All right, let's come back together. So, you can hear me okay? We're good? Okay. All right. We've talked a lot about worthiness and unworthiness, and I'm going to widen the lens quite a bit more to talk about what is this divine feminine? What is this? And I'll give you my interpretation. So we've heard of this movement called the Return of the Goddess, the new paradigm. This is the return of the divine feminine. This is return of what has been hidden, what has been squelched, what has been squeezed. A lot of this are this yin properties, okay? Yin and yang. I hope you've heard of that. The yin are these qualities that are associated more with femininity, although we do have both the yin and the yang within us. So, but we have these yin qualities that can be underused, a little hidden, and these can come forward with this work, up from this work of receptivity, embodied presence, a slowing down, enjoying being able to be still, kind of drop out of the busyness and find a beingness. Just like that softening, right? We hold all this tightness in our muscles, and our heart has walls. And it's like, how can we be more in a flow with what comes? Right? And we all, I bet most of us are definitely more yang. All right. It's just what we've been made in this excessive yang culture. And that's why and you see, it's not working. Everything's just like too much. That we can't, it's not sustainable anymore. Just like this return of the goddess to like bring that sort of distorted yang masculine into where there's a little bit more divinity of the feminine and masculine. Another way that the return of the goddess is happening, I bet that, well, I know that a lot of us perceive or feel God as an external thing or above. And what about the divine within, right? We can reach for the heavens, and we want to not be with the pain, and we don't want to be with the suffering, and we just want to go for the bliss, which is so understandable. But when we do that, we start to split off from parts of ourselves. We don't want to disconnect our pain from our love. We don't want to create all these shadows that are really like pulling our reactive strings without us even knowing. We want to come back to this wholeness where we're embracing life, right? When we come down into ourselves with this love, rather than always reaching out, when we can bring that in, that is the goddess returning within us. That is the divine feminine flowing through us. So I hope that rings some kind of bell with you. The feminine is also the spaciousness, right? And do you see how not spacious a lot of our lives can be? We're just running all around. It's a lot to maintain this 3D life. So all running all around, and our culture is just do, go, go, go. So much of it is actually running on our wound of not enoughness, right? I need possessions to feel better about myself. I need success. I need approval. I'm going to be perfect. I'm going to work so hard. I'm going to be the best, the very best. And how this just runs, and we're filling our lives, and we squeeze out any space that we get, and we find more and more of separation with this relationship within that we can be in and with, that we can be with what's happening. We can be with the present moment, not trying to get out of it, but like, okay, this is happening. I am feeling this. I'm holding a space to how can I respond to this in the most loving way to myself and others. That's a lot of the work, right? How we respond to ourselves and each other. So the Buddha has this teaching called the second arrow. And the first arrow is just life, this inevitable suffering of life, which is like things happen, right? Someone dies, you lose your job, your car breaks down, right? And those things are just the arrow, right? But what we do is we add a second arrow. We go, oh, I'm going to feel horrible about this. I'm going to feel ashamed about what just happened. And I am, this is terrible, right? We'd stir it up. We dig it in. Then we can even put a third arrow. The Buddha doesn't talk about this, but there's a third arrow of even then feeling bad about feeling bad, feeling ashamed about feeling ashamed. So we can have all these layers more and create so much more of our suffering. And what we're practicing with this return of the goddess and the work that we did with the compassion, self-compassion work, is that the first arrow comes in, right? Somebody says something that really hurts our feelings. Do we put another arrow in? Oh, we take a moment. Oh gosh, ouch, I got hit. Ooh, ow. And before we go and we pick up that other arrow, instead, just hold ourselves. And this process can take time. I'm not saying we can do it right in the moment. So we do these meditations and we practice and we self-soothe in our bed in the morning or the night. Or we practice that in our meditation practice. Or we journal and there's a big feeling and we hold it. So we practice that for then whenever it happens in the moment and the arrow hits, you don't go right to the another arrow or another arrow of this like behavior that actually wreaks havoc on yourself and others. That then brings more suffering, right? Like, how can we just go right to the source of love whenever we feel that pain? And that's the return of the goddess. We're coming down and we're bringing the love, right? Mary Magdalene, very high consciousness, and not her ascension was more like, I'm coming into this humanity and I'm going to embrace it, all the parts of it, and I'm watching my beloved be tortured in front of me, and I'm going to hold this space, and I'm going to hold my love, and I'm going to hold my presence. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to thrash around and cry right now. I'm going to just be right here to help him get through this and to help me get through this with this integrity of love. Woo! I was feeling that one. So, all right. When we take more spaciousness in our lives, it does give us time to calm our nervous system. I actually had the fortune to get had a big knee injury not long ago, and it forced me to really take it slow and sit. And I have to say that that part of slowing down was extremely medicinal. I thought that I would like kind of go crazy without not being able to move that much and stay busy, but I was able to just be with it, accept that this happened, that acceptance, and like, oh, and slow down. And my nervous system has, I feel like it's like healed a little. It's not quite as like raw feeling, but I've had 4 months of this. So I hope my nervous system is healing some. Well, with this slowing down, okay, I was forced to slow down, but I was not listening to the universe about that for a long time. I just wasn't listening, and little things were happening. It was getting worse and worse and worse until it was finally so bad that she said, sit your ass down. Okay, but what you can do to avoid extremes is incorporate more spaciousness into your day. I am telling you, this is the yin, this is the goddess, this is the medicine of our culture, to not just keep doing things, to have some freedom and flow, to be more calm, to be more present. I want to start to talk about this practice that we have been doing thus far, where to be with our wound of unworthiness, that there were 2 parts we've been talking about and practicing. The first is to recognize the negative self-talk and the negative messages, old beliefs that do not serve us, that are damaging to us. And you cut that cord, right? That's something we'll go deeper into in the 12-month course. But if you're not doing that, this is a great journal exercise to do on your own. Write all those thoughts. Write all those messages. Cross out the ones that you do not have to own anymore. Circle the main one and be like, okay, I am going to pay attention to this one. This doesn't own me anymore. And then the second part that we've been practicing is then that being able to hold with the compassion or shame. These are 2 of these unknotting the shame bound experience that we might have. I'm going to add a third one tonight. The third part is that spaciousness and the space between the triggering stimuli and our reaction. So in this space is enormous potential. Between the stimuli that triggers us and between the reaction, that it just doesn't go. So it doesn't just go arrow, fuck, other arrow. It's like arrow, and we're just there for a moment. And we start to practice this sort of sequence of we notice, we hold, we recognize, then we like send some love and hold it. There's these little steps that once we do it, practice it slowly enough, then it can start to become more and more habitual. And it fills that space between the triggering stimuli and the reaction. And then it gives you the space to respond in a more aligned way. Okay. Great. I hope that this is making sense. Anybody have any questions in the chat? Questions, comments? We'll go into one more practice before we go in. I'll hand it back to Leah to lead us through a group circling, sharing, compassion circle. So we'll tap in a little deeper into our hearts. Because when we're too full and busy to feel our own selves, we can't hold our pain. When we can't hold our pain, we cannot hold other people's pain. It just makes us feel secretly uncomfortable. So let's get more familiar with our holding so we can hold others. Starting. Do I want music? I'll just put it on real low. Put a little music on. So, can you hear this? You can hear this. Let's dip in for a moment. Close our eyes. Help us hold this space. We can call in our supportive team from beyond. Teachers, guides, friends, family. Welcome them. Coming in the divine. Welcoming in our highest self. Body connected to the seat that you're on. Feel your body here supported. right into that point of contact. Be the sensation of your body meeting the ground. And rise from that with an inhale. Just breathe. And recall a statement, a damaging statement that someone has said to you or does say to you that just really, really triggers you. Feel that moment of when that lands within you, like the arrow. And place your palms wherever on your body that feels most, where you feel that trigger most. And you're there with what was just really painful. This was painful. I feel hurt. We listen. We are listening to this pain, and we are there to validate that. Like, yeah, that was, ouch. I can see why that really hurt. Oh, that was painful. Right? Is it true? Is it true? No, it's not true. It's not true. I got you. Right? We start to have a little talk, a loving talk. Feel your love wrap around this pain, like the sweetest mother holding her little baby. That is the goddess love that we are bringing in. The most tender, unconditional love. And before we come out of this, we're going to our most loving tenderness is going to say some sentiment to this pain that is the most medicinal. So you might need to say a few statements and see what lands the best, right? Oh, right, I love you so much, or I love you no matter what, or you are love, or what is going to land and be the medicine for that wound right now. And receive that. Let the pain receive that. observe this for a moment. Try this one more time, times faster. One more time. Close your eyes. Somebody says something real hurtful and it shoots into you. Put your palms there. Ouch. Acknowledge that. Validate. Ow. This hurts. Good. Send some love. Right? Hold it. Wrap it with love. I got you. I got you. Got you. The energetic love. And if those words are helpful, the sentiment, if you can really absorb it into your hurt and say those words. Breathe and release your hands. Feel our bodies connected to the earth, grounded. We're here, we're okay. We're okay. Pass this over to Leah. Thank you, Leah. Thanks, everybody.
To gallery, so I can just I'll share my screen. Katie, it should cut you off. Let's see if that works. All right, there we go. Okay, so maybe just taking that exhale again and just presencing yourself here. You can maybe switch your view to gallery view just for a moment, just to take in all of the sisters that are here with us tonight. And again, knowing and feeling the energy of those that are watching the recording. And this is our circle. These are the sisters that heard something that just pulled them here, right? Just like it pulled you. We're all here for different reasons, but there's that common thread. We heard the call. It's just taking this moment to honor everyone in this room and feeling into the medicine that is a space like this. And that's what we're going to be journeying through here over the next little bit, is the medicine of sisterhood, and why Katie and I found it so important to make this Temple Sisters an experience, a community experience, and a sisterhood experience, and something that really consistently weaves in the medicine of circle. So my own story with circle and with sisterhood, I'll share very briefly, just for some context. It's funny in the work that I do now in the world, working with women, so often I was not one of the little girls that hung out with a bunch of other girls. I actually ended up being one of the little girls that was one of the guys. And it was, I think, because of some of what I held in those beautiful experiences that Katie just, had us move through. For me, for those that don't know, those that know me in person know this, but if you're seeing me on the screen, I'm almost 6 feet tall. So I am I got some height to me, right? I stand tall now, but as a child growing up much taller than everyone, it was something that kind of made me stand out. And, kids can be mean. And so I remember at an early age, there's this thing that can happen sometimes with little girls is kind of picking on each other and like groups of friends and things like that. And so early on when some of that started happening, I was like, it is a lot easier to just hang out with the guys. Like, let's do that. There's less drama. And I just kind of felt into that space. And what I didn't realize is that throughout my life, I actually was missing out from some really beautiful medicine. But in like my 20s and 30s, or in my 20s rather, I started really leaning in to sisterhood. I was in a sorority in college, but through that and kind of paired with some toxic behavioral patterns, wasn't making the smartest decisions and probably wasn't being the kindest friend, and in turn was wounding women and being wounded by women again, right? So there's that. And then in around 2017, I sat in my first circle, my first women's circle, and Katie was actually facilitating that. I had been in some ceremonies and experiences with women prior to that, but this was my first actual circle experience. And I had these things come up, can I share in a space with women that I don't actually know that well? Like, is it safe here, right? All of these things that can kind of come up in these spaces when you're just looking around and it's sisterhood, can this actually be real? And I moved through the experience and it profoundly changed my life. So much so that this is now what I do every day of my life is share this medicine with others, because I feel that circle is something that can heal our planet in such a beautiful way. And as Katie spoke to, this rise, this return of the goddess, this rise of the sacred feminine, the resurgence of circle is something that is manifesting because of that. We're being called back to these community spaces. But I want to, if you're still in gallery view, stay there, and if not, switch back. But I'm just going to ask you, raise your hand if you have ever been wounded by another woman. Yeah. And now raise your hand if you've ever wounded another woman. Right? So just taking that in, if you've heard this term, the sister wound, I'm going to speak to that. And it affects all of us. It's a collective wound. And what I mean by the sister wound is exactly kind of what I spoke to in my own life story. This mistrust that we have with other women, this hesitancy to lean in and feel safe and really speaking our truth and sharing, feeling the fear of rejection, judging other women, shaming other women, being judged by other women and having other women shame us, right? Like competition amongst women. That's all part of the sister wound. And it's happened throughout history. There's intergenerational trauma involved that we'll speak about in a moment. But I just want to touch on a few things throughout history that I find have contributed to this collective wound and why it's so important that we're doing this work here and now. So thousands of years ago, when circle was a way that people communicated, right? We were living in communities and villages and tribes, and we had this fire, right? We had this fire in our communities that was our source of heat, our source of cooking our food. I mean, it was a sacred fire. And we would gather in community around these fires. And women specifically would be, cooking over these fires and raising their children together, around the fire and in these villages, communities, and tribes. We were celebrating together. We were mourning together. We were bleeding together, right? And, then things started to happen, right? So you had colonization. Then you had, if you're familiar with the Inquisition or the burning times, right? So you had women, or the witch trials, just to kind of give some different words that you may be familiar with. But you actually had women that were medicine women and healers that were deemed witches, and women were turning against each other to save their own lives, right? It's not me, it's her, right? And just contributes to that wound. So we're pulling away from the community medicine that we had into it's not me, it's her, right? Then if you think about times like in the 1800s, if you've ever seen the show Bridgerton, it's a beautiful example of how women used to actually, again, have to compete for survival. But during those times, it was competing to win the man, right? So you could be provided for. So as a means of survival, it can't be her, it's got to be me. If it's her, it's not me, right? Then you move into, times with like corporate, the corporate world. Now it's a boardroom table, but there's only so many seats for women. So if it's not me, her, right? So do you see how like throughout history, women have been pitted against each other? We have this conditioning that we need to compete with other women, which just adds to the mistrust. And so media, plays into that as well, right? And we spoke to that earlier and, in our experience together. And so there's all of this that has happened and it's weighing on us, right? But we have an opportunity with Circle to start slowly peeling some of that away, to start slowly leaning in to what the medicine of sisterhood can truly be, and what it can feel like to be in a space where you are seen and heard and supported in non-judgmental space. And it can be really hard to believe that's true, but if you're here with us tonight and you've looked on this gallery view at all of these incredible women, we're all here to do just that, right? So just honoring that medicine. So what we're going to do tonight is take a little bit of a journey, because I get asked often in the work that I do with women with their sister wounds, or if we're in Circle and they're hesitant to come, it's, what do I do with this? I have this mistrust towards women. I don't feel safe to share, like, how do I start loving on this wound? And what I offer is simply to lean in as safe as you feel you can in each moment. It can start with one conversation. It can start with one conversation where you really make eye contact with another woman. Or maybe it's a conversation with a friend where you lean in a little further, trust her a little more, right? And also, right, pairing that with all of the beautiful work we've been doing the past 2 nights, really looking at things that are causing us pain, looking at how to hold our own pain. And with the sister wound, doing that very same thing. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to journal a little bit, and we're going to kind of unearth the sister wound and how it may be showing up in your own life. And then I'm going to put you into breakout rooms of like little groups of 3, where you're going to have an opportunity to speak your name into the space and then to share with some other sisters, to just lean in just a little, right, to get a taste of this medicine. So I invite you to go ahead and grab your journals. If you have journals with you, feel free to also communicate in the chat. If you just want to, if you want to be witnessed in your share, that's fine too. You can journal in the chat. And I'm going to pull up some music to play. This is one of my favorite songs called Rise, Sister, Rise by Rebecca Campbell, but we'll have that playing. Okay. And the first thing that I invite you to explore is, what is your current relationship with sisterhood? Just be really honest with yourself. What does sisterhood look like in your life? If it exists, really evaluate it. Is it healthy? Is it wounded? And maybe it doesn't exist, and be honest about that too. Stay present with your body as you write. And I'll give you about a minute with this one, and then we'll have another prompt. And the next thing I'd like you to explore, and feel free to keep going with that one, but the second one before we start sharing, with the sister wound, if you think about, the sacred feminine, relationships with a woman and another woman, your foundational relationships can often be when you're when you're a child. So Maybe it was your mother or grandmother or an older sister, like a role model in your life, someone who was a formative figure. Who modeled sisterhood for you? What was like the first modeling of sisterhood? And was it healthy or was it very wounded? So just allow yourself to explore that a little bit. What was your first representation or taste of what sisterhood looks like? And really feel into, was it healthy or was it a wounded relationships? And did that maybe then affect how you operated in the world with other women as you continue to journey? Maybe about 30 more seconds with that one. Just starting to feel into it because you'll be able to speak about it in a moment. So just taking a minute to exhale, just honoring what came up for you, honoring the strength in facing your own truth and whatever that looked like as you explored some of that, knowing that you are perfect as you are in this moment. So just to love on all that is coming through. It's all meant for you here and now. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put you into breakout rooms, and we're going to do groups of 3. And the way this will work is it will take you, in case you've never done a breakout room, you don't have to do anything on your end other than just hang tight. And it's going to put you into a room with 2 other women. And I just want to remind everyone before we share, those pillars of integrity have all been agreed to. So everything spoken into this space and that you choose to share is safe and sacred here. And again, the sacred responsibility of sharing as far as you feel safe to do so tonight. This is just how far do you want to lean in to really immerse yourself in this experience for here and now. So you'll be in this space, and the invitation is first and foremost to share. You want to speak your name again and just kind of, say your name, and then share what's most alive in your heart. It could be from anything in the entire experience, but maybe there's something that you really just want to have witnessed. And so let that pour through. If you feel like you need a little guidance with maybe what to speak to, something that could be really beautiful is to pick one of the journal prompts that you have written about throughout, the time over the past 3 nights, and share one of those and kind of how that impacted you. Does anyone have any questions? If so, you can drop them in the chat. Everyone will have about right around 2 minutes to share. So what will happen is everybody's going to be gone for about 6 to 7 minutes, and then probably do about 7 minutes. So it's about that time. Then you'll see a timer, and then you'll come back here. And then if you're watching the recording, just kind of hang tight. We'll come back. You can fast forward if you want, or maybe continue to journal. All right, I don't see any questions, so we're gonna see if we can get this going.
How many minutes per person, Leah?
Well, I guess it's more gonna be like, we're gonna try to do it in about, let's do about a 1 minute share, a minute to a minute and a half, I think. Just sharing a little bit. There's only one of you. Yeah, I haven't put you in breakout rooms yet, so you're about to go. You'll see a timer. I'm just doing it on my end right now, so give me a second. Okay. All right, so I will see you in just a bit. And when you get in there, make sure you unmute. Ready? You may see a notification to join. Just click that and it'll take you in there. And there they go. We have a couple that have not seen. Hello, hello. Just waiting for sisters to come back. There is the invitation to continue to share in the chat if you didn't have the opportunity in the small group to share. We had some tech issues with a couple sisters, so it made their rooms a little bigger. So I want to make sure that, anyone that still wants to speak or share that maybe didn't get to, that you can do so here in the chat. I don't see. Let's give it a minute. All the lovely sisters coming back. There's Katie. Okay. So just taking a minute to breathe, and I'll be full transparency. It's really interesting to be on the outside of that because I can't see what's happening or know what's happening, but I hope that you were able to communicate and chat and at least see some other sisters in a smaller, intimate space. In the 12-month journey, we're going to have a lot more of that with extended sharing, but at least that gives you like a little taste of what it can feel like to be in a small group, when you're going through an experience like this with other women. If there's anyone that wants to share anything in the chat or feels called and wants to speak into the open space at this time, the circle is open. If anyone feels called to share, we have time for at least a couple shares here in the open space. You can just raise your hand, and it can be about anything from the past 3 nights. If there's anything that you feel called to speak into the space, or if you want to be witnessed in some way, just want to make sure to honor that. Ashera, yes, my love.
Hi, so grateful for the connections and the deep soulful connections. And there was something from last night that I just felt moved to share because it came to me that in this, in the Kuan Yin attunement with the flowing love and the water element and her little vessel of sort of like divine love, right? That I actually was looking at those images and then remembering that while Katie, you were leading that meditation, that experience, the movement experience too. And I had a blue glass bottle of water on my table. And I was like, oh, wow, I'm remembering. I remembered the practice that is such a loving presence kind of practice, which is just to hold your vessel of water, your glass of water, your cup of water, your tea, and just with your hands as connected to your heart, and just send all your love, all your empathy and compassion and everything you need, all of your nurturance, and fill that water with that, because water is basically liquid empathicness. It's like it'll just pick up all of those vibrations and those prayers and put it into your water and then drink it down and receive it. So that's just something I wanted to share. I was just like, that's so Kuan Yin-y, and it's such a slow down and be present opportunity. It's a mindful moment. So that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Ashera. I'm feeling very called to working with water intentionally and almost like water priestess stuff. So that just like my heart's like, because anytime that we can interact with water in an intentional way, it is so powerful and very much, I think, in alignment with how we're journeying together in how we speak and care and relate for ourselves. Because if you think about it, we are bodies of water. And so we are also this sacred vessel of water that we can hold and speak into and send that love. And so, yes, I love the representation and the manifestation of being able to hold it physically, while also knowing that our entire essence is this body of water. So yes, thank you for that. Does anyone else want to speak into the space? Just to make sure I don't see any other hands raised. Okay. If anything else comes up, feel free to drop it in the chat. But I just invite you in this moment to bring both hands to your own heart, to your own body of water. And just close your eyes if that feels safe for you. And just breathe into this space of giving and receiving love. Just honoring in this moment, this circle of sisters here, those here with us live and those energetically here with us that are watching the recording, this web of sisterhood. Just honoring that, feeling gratitude for that. And here in this moment, honoring the lineage of circle, honoring those men and women who circled throughout time, thousands of years ago around the fire. Honoring all who are circling on this planet now, feeling into their love, connecting with them because they feel that circle is medicine too. Here in this moment, honoring the daughters and granddaughters, the sons and grandsons that will circle because we circle in this way now. Just allowing your body to feel that connection to the bigness and the ripple effect of this medicine, and honoring yourself for being vulnerable and leaning into sisterhood in this sacred way. I invite you to take a deep inhale through your nose, straightening the spine, expanding the heart. Powerful sigh out of the mouth. Maybe just one more time, breathing in deeply, just breathing in love and connection to circles all over, crossing time and space, and exhale. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes. I don't see Katie in this moment on the screen, but I know that there was something that she wanted to share too, so we'll give her just a moment. And I would love, maybe while we wait on Katie to come back, if you could just drop any words or emotions in the chat that you're feeling here and now in this moment. So I can kind of, because I wasn't in a small group, so I didn't get to see any faces and shares. So just anything that you're feeling in your body or emotionally right now. And I see Katie back with us. Beautiful. So Katie, we just ended connecting with our hearts. And I know that that you wanted to kind of speak into the space and begin to wrap us up. And they're just going to share in the chat things that they're feeling in this moment, kind of as we start to wrap up.
Hey, hi. The very tail end of that, I needed to go because my mother-in-law came back. She has Alzheimer's and she forgot I was on this call, and brought her dogs were all barking. Like, I have to go remind her. So, all right, I'm here. So I had all these plans of things we could do to wrap up, and I'm not feeling like dancing right now. It's too much. What about a relaxation, a 5-minute relaxation to close this out? So in honor of this slowing down, holding this space for stillness, present stillness. Okay. Okay. Is it possible? I would love to do something where you really actually, it's best if you're lying down flat on your back. Is that possible? Raise your hand if you cannot do that so that I can adjust the words. Okay, Deb. All right, good. Deb, can you sit on something where you can rest your back a little bit, or? Yeah, okay, good, good. Well, let's relax a little bit more. Get a blanket if you need. Let this time be a pampering. So this Shavasana is a love letter to you. As you come into a restful pose, just find where your body makes contact with the floor or with the mattress or the chair. Wherever the surface area of your body is touching the earth, relax into that. Soften into that. Bring your awareness to the very center of your head. Let that fall back towards the center of the earth. And we're letting go, letting go, letting go. Traveling now to the heart center. Let the heart center just lean back into your chair or the floor, the bed. Release, being held by Mama Earth. Travel to your womb space. We'll soften here. Let it soften. Release what grips we might hold there. Let it flow into the ground. Once again, finding all the surface area of your body that is connected towards the ground. Release, release. So if you notice, there's this letting go, this downward flow of letting go. Any more of the tension in all your cells, any cells that you can access, any parts that you can access, just soften and release down. Let it flow into the ground. That is relaxation. And now let's do restoration to finish. And this is coming into your body, into your cells, and we're drawing in restorative energy. We're replenishing ourselves with the clean water in our bodies, the blessed waters in our bodies. Draw that in to all the cells and the skeleton, your bones, and your muscles, and your blood. All in your organs, just drawing, replenishing, soaking up fresh nutrients. And because we've released, because we've softened, we've made more space and more permeability to absorb what is restorative. Be here restoring. And placing your palms on your heart center. Let's take a fresh breath into your heart center. We're here, right here with our heart. It feels aligned to begin to let your breath lead you into some little movement so that we can close together. Back slowly to each other's faces. I want to thank you all for your loving, tender presence, for committing to yourself and to all of us. You know, every little piece of growth, it slowly changes this world that maybe doesn't have to be this painful. And thank you for bringing in the love. Thank you, Leah, for
Thank
doing
you.
this with me, holding this space with me. Is there anything you'd like to end with?
I just honor all of you for showing up for yourselves, for showing up for this sisterhood, and ultimately for showing up for the collective. The ripple effect is massive. what we do here in moments like this. So again, just the invitation to contain, right? Just to hold as much of this magic as you can and to anchor back into these memories and the words and the things you felt. You'll have recordings if you want to dive back in the moments where life can feel kind of heavy. Just return to the moments like this. Yes, thank you. Back to you, Katie. My toddler's like screaming, so I don't know if you can hear her, so I'll mute for a minute.
Okay. So if you are feeling called to this, imagine that we do this work on a weekly, monthly, a whole year. And we develop these relationships and we explore each chakra, these different aspects of ourselves, and we call in different goddesses and we attune to kind of maybe virtues that aren't quite attuned within us. I believe in this content and this process that we're going to be going into. Please check out the link that Leah will drop in the chat again. Check out that detailed outline. Check out what's going on with this. Yeah. And just one more reminder, $100 off the already 10% off early bird price if you want to jump into this by Sunday night. So you're jumping into good hands. Okay, well, stay in touch. We're here, right?
And there'll be an email tomorrow that will go out by the end of the day. I don't have an exact time yet, but it won't be in the morning. It'll probably be in the evening. It will include the links to all of these recordings. It will include information on how you can sign up if this is something that's feeling alive for you and you want to journey with us for a year. And if you have any questions, you can always connect with Katie and I. The link takes you to her website and her email's there, and then you can reach me at hersacredcircle@gmail.com.
Yeah. And you know what? I was just thinking about this today. I was like, wait, this whole year-long course is less money than one college course. And not many of those change your life. So, all right. Well, I hope that if I haven't met you in person yet, that I do at some point in our paths. And until then, blessings on your path.
And please unmute, let us hear your voices, say hello, and blast this space with love until we meet again.
Love you all. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Bye.
Night, Lori.
Thank you.
Night.
Love
And
you.
yes,
Bye.
Monica, Nicole.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Lori.
Bye, Nikki. Bye, Monica.
Tracy.
Bye, Maritime.
And bye, Inga.
Jess, and
Bye.
Lori. Aw. All right.
all right, my love. Mwah. Bye, everyone.